My Hero Academia, the series where we follow the lives of UA's Class 1A as they come into their own as heroes. Except during almost all of Season 4, because this season, some new faces are taking center stage. Namely, the big three, Mirio TOGATA, Nejire Hado, and Tamaki Amajiki, as well as an up-and-coming villain known as Overhaul. So, let's shine a light on the stars of Season 4. Who are the big three? Mirio TOGATA, Nejire Hado, and Tamaki Amajiki are third-year UA students at the top of their game. According to Daddy Eraserhead himself, TOGATA is closer to being a top hero than some of the pro heroes who teach at UA. All of them will make waves in the pro hero world once they graduate. But despite having a cool group name like Big Three, their rise to fame only started within the last year. None of them made particularly strong impressions during the sports festival in their first or second years. Which is to say, watch out who you make fun of in middle school, because they could return from summer vacation having gone through Quirk puberty. Which I don't know is a real thing, but you get what I'm saying. The Big Three's first member, Tamaki Amajiki, has that classic anime bad boy hair and pointy ears. So he basically looks like if someone transmuted Sasuke Uchiha with a Keebler elf. And that's actually way more intimidating than it sounds. More so because of the Keebler elf part. Sasuke doesn't scare me. His transformation class quirk, Manifest, is pretty much a horror show. It allows him to replicate the physical traits of anything he's eaten recently on any part of his body. Eating octopus gives him tentacle fingers, consuming a bird could give him wings, eating a bedbug could give him a dagger dick. What? You didn't know that bedbug fact? You see, I actually learned something from my biology of sex course in college. Not as interesting as it sounds. I just learned a lot about bugs. It's important for Tamaki to consume a lot of whatever he wants to manifest. The more he eats, the better the trait manifests. From what we've seen so far, his quirk only activates when he eats animals, so veganism is off the table if he wants to be a pro hero. It's a sensible limitation, but if he could transform into peanut butter, he'd be able to defeat any villain with a nut allergy. Just saying. That actually sounds really brutal. Given how wildly useful his quirk sounds, it's no surprise that Tamaki works at a top hero agency run by the pro hero Fat Gum, who also relies on eating for his quirk. Fat Gum personally recruited Tamaki, and they're a pretty good match. Tamaki may be an intimidating hero, but he's kind of an anxious mess beneath that ever-transforming exterior. Horikoshi created Tamaki's personality after he had to do some public speaking at Jump Festa. Horikoshi was so nervous that he was inspired to make Tamaki a socially anxious guy. In spite of his many successes, Tamaki's anxiety can prevent him from putting his best foot forward. That is just too goddamn relatable. And it makes sense. When you're in the top 3 before you've even graduated high school, that's kind of a lot of pressure to deal with. As a result, Tamaki puts a lot of energy into avoiding people at all costs. Oh god, this is me! He avoids eye contact, hunches his shoulders when he walks, you know, typical New Yorker stuff. He's sending the message that he would like his personal space to be respected. Thank you very much. I think Tamaki and I would get along well. When he's in his hero identity, Suneater, he's got some built-in tools to avoid the public eye. In addition to the standard mask, his costume features a full hood. It doesn't really have any quirk-specific applications, it's really only there to hide his face. I get it, Tamaki. Weak low, hell is other people. To combat his anxiety, Tamaki has a habit of leaning his head against a nearby wall to calm his nerves. This is getting really scary. That's like exactly what I do.
He's your hero, Sona.
Oh, he is my hero, Sona. It's rare that Tamaki comes off confident, but when he does, it's usually when he's shouting out another person's hard work. And that's a pretty cool character trait. We should all do more of that. Shout out to my cats, because they're the only reason I got out of bed this morning. Another shout out to Mitsuki for making Bury Me at Makeout Creek. And shout out to you, Adrian. You're such a good boy.
Oh, thanks.
He's such a good boy. When Mirio single-handedly defeated Class 1A, Tamaki pointed out that Mirio had to work incredibly hard to cultivate his quirk, and that the students at 1A didn't understand how much he'd been through. Being a member of the Big Three isn't all fun and games after all. It makes sense that Tamaki sticks up for Mirio, though. They're childhood friends. They met in the 3rd grade when Tamaki was a painfully shy transfer student. He struggled to make friends, but Mirio noticed Tamaki's shyness and took the initiative to reach out. They've been buddies ever since. And now I gotta take back what I said about Tamaki being scary. Once again, he's the most relatable character in all of My Hero Academia. Thank you very much. Also, fun fact, Tamaki loves butterflies, which kind of fits him perfectly. Next, I want to talk about a wildly underappreciated lady, the Big Three's Nejire Hado. She's a beauty queen and a hero, and I gotta give her props for subverting the idea that you can only have beauty or brawn. I'll get to her powerful quirk in a minute, but I want to give some time to this queen's pageant career. She participated in UA's annual beauty pageant, which I guess is a thing? Nobody tell me, Netta? Though she did very well, she was bested by Bibimi Kenranzaki 2 years in a row. I'm gonna go see what she looks like for a second, because I don't think she's been in the anime yet. Oh my god, ew! Ugh! Ooh!
What the f is that?
Hello, nightmares. How are ya? To be fair, Bibimi does have eyelashes longer than most people's arms, so I guess that means she's a shoo-in. Nejire's best friend Yu Haya encouraged her to enter the beauty contest in her freshman year. You can tell they're true besties because they have matching friendship bracelets. They've sort of got a Cardcaptor Sakura and Tomoyo vibe, and Yu once said that Nejire is the cutest thing in the galaxy. That so sounds like Tomoyo. I love her so much. She's not wrong. When you have friends like that, who needs to be a beauty queen? I wish I had a friend that followed me around and was like, Dorrie, you are the most horrifying eldritch entity in all the universe. Dreaming is free. Dreaming is nice. Even if she didn't take home the pageant crown, Nejire has found massive professional success. As a member of the Big Three, she's destined to shake up the pro hero world once she officially joins the workforce after graduation. For now, she interns in the office of Ryukyu Japan's top heroes. We haven't seen much of her work at the agency, but we know that Nejire vouched for Froppy and Ochiko so they could intern at Ryukyu too. Since both girls got internships, it's fair to assume that Nejire has some pull at Ryukyu. We've gone over a lot of Nejire's accomplishments already, and we haven't even gotten to her awesome-ass quirk. Nejire's emitter class quirk, Wave Motion, is amazing. She can turn vitality into massive energy blasts, eviscerating any foe. She emits the energy from either her hands or her feet, allowing her to fly or float with her quirk. In that way, she's kind of like Bakugo, but without all the rage. Whoa. You smell that, girls? I smell a new ship. It actually doesn't smell very good because Bakugo is a very sweaty man. Having a quirk that relies on vitality has forced Nejire to work on her endurance. Thanks to her training, stamina-draining quirks affect her less than others. Not a bad side effect. Unlike Tamaki and Mirio, who are ostensibly best buds, it seems like Nejire, on the other hand, is still working on developing a close bond with the boys. Like the class act she is, Nejire seems to keep things strictly professional. Good girl. Careers before boy years. Nailed it. This man is known by many names amongst My Hero Academia fans. Tintin, Vault Boy, Lucas from Mother, Deku's Regret, and Mirio. Deku's Regret, I quit. Mirio Togata is a goofy guy who loves watching comedy, chowing down on a bowl of ramen, and cheering people up. His cheerful demeanor is just one of the reasons he was marked as the most likely person to become the #1 hero following All Might's retirement. Deku's Regret, Mirio, decided on his career in heroics after he fell into the river as a boy and a nearby pro hero rescued him. That experience stuck with him, inspiring Mirio to become a hero himself. He devoted every waking moment to his ultimate goal of becoming a hero. However, his transformation class quirk, Permeation, has made this a wee bit difficult. Mirio's quirk gives his body an intangible quality, allowing him to pass through all physical matter. He can activate it in specific limbs or through his entire body. Many people, including his own father, saw this as a useless ability for a hero to have. And to be fair, the quirk has a lot of drawbacks. If he activates it throughout his whole body, he'll fall through the ground and stay there until he deactivates the quirk, which then shoots him out of the ground. Not exactly an easy re-entry. On top of that, when his quirk is activated, Mirio loses most of his senses, the ability to breathe, and his clothing falls off. He says all he can feel is the sensation of falling, which is how all my nightmares end. All in all, it's a pretty inconvenient quirk, especially when you consider that my guy could apparently fall into the Earth's core if he wasn't careful. I'm suddenly remembering when he had that fight with Class 1A and he was like, I'm sorry for showing off my willy. I love that he refers to it as his willy. It's so innocent. It's like a little kid.
Free Willy, man.
Free willy. Free willy. Luckily, he's learned to control his quirk to an impressive degree, and he's got a hero uniform that won't leave him in the buff. When dressed as the hero Lemillion, his uniform is immune to the effects of his quirk. Why? Well, it's woven in from his own hair, of course. Of course! Flashbacks reveal that Mirio had a long ponytail in middle school. I assume he was growing out his luscious locks so they could be spun into that hero costume. Now that is dedication. But just for the record, his casual clothes would still fall off of him if he used his quirk. Do with that what you will. I can hear the fanfics being written. Y'all got no chill. That's why I love you, though. If I haven't convinced you by now that Mirio is a super hard worker, well, maybe Tamaki can help me out. But a certain pro hero deserves some credit, too. Mirio got a lot of special training from Sir Nighteye in his second year at UA. I'll give you all the deets on All Might's #1 fan in a minute, but let me leave you with a parting fact about Mirio. His hero name, Lemillion, comes from his goal to save at least 1 million people through his heroics. Believe in the me that believes in you, Lemillion. I'm just gonna call him Lemon Man instead, though, because I like that more. Man, Mirio has really inspired me. I want to work hard. I want to save 1 million people, plus ultra! Okay, so maybe my goal of saving 1 million people is a bit ambitious, but I can get started building my skills on today's sponsor, Skillshare. Let us see here. Oh yeah, they've got it. They've got like everything. I could take this course about writing a good hero, or this one that will turn me into a poker hero. I can see it now. My hero name is Royal Flush, the poker hero. With my quirk, I can win every card game. And I could take this handy-dandy photography course once I'm ready for my close-up, which I'm always ready for. Okay, I don't think that's what Mirio has in mind, but still, there's plenty to learn on Skillshare. And they're giving away a free 2-month unlimited access trial to our subscribers who click the description box. And after that, it's only around 10 buckaroos a month. Are you ready to be a hero? If you're not feeling quite ready yet, maybe it's time for a work study. Sir Nighteye has you covered. That is, if you can make him laugh, of course. I make myself laugh all the time. Sir Nighteye is a storied hero who loves All Might with all his heart. And that's saying something. He's supposedly a bigger fanboy than Deku. In his youth, Sir approached All Might as a fan and asked to be his sidekick. Alas, All Might had a rule that he would never take on a sidekick and refused young Sir's request. But Sir was persistent and he eventually broke All Might down. And it's a good thing he did, because he became the brains of the operation. Sir single-handedly completed every piece of paperwork that came All Might's way. Geez, no wonder he needs comedy as an outlet. When Sir parted ways with All Might 6 years before the start of the story, he had enough organizational talent to start his own hero agency. On top of that, Sir Nighteye is considered to be one of the smartest people in Japan. He's also a smart dresser, and he took advice from the great Edna Mode. No capes. Well, he actually took it a step further, deciding to wear a suit rather than traditional superhero attire. Horikoshi actually designed him after the stereotypical image of a Japanese man. The suit gives Sir a pretty intense vibe. He does a lot of glaring. A lot. He can be an intimidating guy, but despite that, he loves to laugh. In fact, he requires heroes to make him laugh before he'll formally acknowledge them, which is a bit weird, but then again, I don't really trust people that don't have a sense of humor. It all stems from his personal belief that a good hero should be able to make civilians laugh while putting fear in the hearts of villains. Sounds a lot like his mentor All Might's promise to save people with a smile. If one of Sir's subordinates fails to make him laugh, though, they're in for a world of hurt. Well, hurt pride maybe. Sir rolls out this giant tickle machine and punishes them. big woolly mammoth-sized yikes-a-roni. Potential HR violations aside, Sir has 4 employees under him, 2 interns, Mirio and Deku, and 2 sidekicks, Bubble Girl and Centipeter. While neither get much screen time during the series' 4th season, it's kind of cool to note that they were both designed by fans. Shonen Jump hosted a character design contest with promise that the winners would be added to the MHA story. The winners were Bubble Girl, a cute blue girl, and Centipeter, a terrifying man who is a literal human centipede. Sir Nighteye was kind enough to give the fan-made heroes a gig, and that is the cutest shit I have heard all day. More manga, please do this. Sir Nightaye's real name is Mirai Sasaki. His parents might have had the same quirk as Nighteye because they named him Mirai, which translates to future, and ties into his emitter class quirk, Foresight. After touching and making eye contact with a target, Sir is able to see into their future. He retains access to that future for an hour. The farther into the future he sees, the muddier his predictions. Still, his predictions have never been wrong. After using his quirk, Sir is unable to use Foresight again for 24 hours, which is a little confusing because when Mirio and Deku run into Overhaul, Nighteye says he should have used Foresight on them. Anyway, his quirk is useful in close combat. He can see every attack his foe plans to use, as seen in his fight against Deku. Like his former master, Sir is truly a force to be reckoned with. If I were to meet the man, I would definitely ask if he has any foresight into when I will finally be able to take over this wretched universe. I will leave the Earth one day and escape all you b****s. This season's main antagonist, ooh, he's a spicy one. Kaichisaki, or Overhaul, leads the Shie Hasaikai, or the 8 Precepts of Death, one of the few Yakuza groups remaining in Japan, following All Might's near eradication of the Yakuza in years prior. Because of this, Overhaul refers to himself as a dying breed. Overhaul is a lifelong criminal. He first joined the 8 Precepts as a tot when the group's boss found him, took him in, and raised him as his own son. Like most Yakuza, the boss had a strict honor code. He instructed Overhaul to leave innocent civilians alone, but we all know how this whole villain thing goes. Overhaul wants to repay the boss who took him in, so he made plans to fix the Yakuza, restoring it to the fame it held in the pre-All Might era. He intends to achieve this goal at all costs, even if it means harming the sweet, sweet baby Eri. Don't worry, I'll protect you, Eri. I'll die for you if I have to, you precious little blue ram thing, girl. I love you, Eri. Oh, I love her so much. I want to know more about her. I'm sorry, she's just so cute. Eventually, Overhaul strayed away from the boss's wishes so he could fulfill his goals of restoring the Yakuza. The boss is currently in a coma, making Overhaul their interim leader. I suppose we'll see how his plans to restore the Yakuza work out later this season. Overhaul will do whatever it takes to achieve his goals, even if his actions aren't up to the Yakuza code. He's helped by his emitter class quirk, Overhaul. Using his quirk, Overhaul is able to take apart then recombine anything he touches. His quirk is perfect for extracting very small things, like blood samples, or, you know, exploding people. Rip Big Sis Mag. Moment of silence. When Overhaul reconstitutes something he's taken apart, he can fuse his victim with something else. If that occurs, he creates some sort of chimera thing. And this is already the second FMA reference in this video. Maybe you ought to check out our FMA timeline to see what happens to people who make chimeras, wink wink nudge nudge. But as far as Overhaul is concerned, his power allows him to combine quirks as well. And that's kind of a big deal. Yeah, Overhaul is truly a scary villain. I am mortified, yet so very intrigued to see what he does in Season 4. Man, I hope he is hot under that mask. I'm Dorrie, thank you for watching, and if I made you smile, please subscribe to GetintheRobot, your anime explainer.